Hello everyone, AlphaSoul here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to cover another video in my Ashes of Creation info series. We're going to discuss PvP, or player versus player. One of the first questions that a lot of people generally tend to ask when they look at MMOs is, what kind of PvP system does this MMO have, right? Are there battlegrounds? Can you attack anyone at any time? Are there certain, places where you can fight people in arenas and such like that? Well, Ashes of Creation has many different PvP systems that are within it, but I'll get to them and explain them in general first. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into one of the key aspects in systems, which is the corruption system, but I will mention it, and it will come up a couple of times. If you need specifics on it, please feel free to check my corruption video for more information on that, and you can check it out there. In general, Ashes of Creation is a game that focuses on open world PvP. In other words, you can attack anyone, pretty much anyone at any time for whatever reason you want, and depending on the scenario, you may have penalties, right? So if you attack a random stranger that has no particular affiliation or anything like that and manage to kill them, then you'll gain something called corruption, right? That corruption is a bad thing. It leads to skill degradation. It basically enables it so that you potentially drop items that you have equipped on you when you die, depending on how much corruption that you have. And things just overall become harder. So they don't want to overall, outright ban killing people, but they do want to, incur a penalty for just randomly attacking and killing people, especially lower level people. So that got a lot of people thinking when they hear about open world PvP and Ashes of Creation, thinking that it's very restrictive, there's really not much, why would you ever PvP? That isn't the full picture of PvP and Ashes of Creation, so let's go ahead and cover what I call legalized killing, if you will, or consensual PvP, which are the main systems in PvP of Ashes of Creation. The first system is the node system. The node system is really what Ashes of Creation is based around, and there is another video below if you wish to check out information on the specifics of the node system. But in general, as a player, you can belong to a node as a citizen, right? And if two nodes go to war against one another, then you can kill other players of that other node without any penalty. That's where you're fighting them at all times and cost until the war is won between whichever nodes. Now, the node system supersedes all other systems, and that will come into play in a little bit. For example, the guild war system, node system supersedes it. In other words, if you have two members of the same guild who are part of different nodes, then those two players will be able to attack one another. So that'll require some coordination between guild members if you don't wish any ill feelings or anything like that. The second is guild wars. I mentioned it. Guild wars are familiar to many different people. You have two different guilds, or clans as some people call them, that can go and attack one another. The good thing about guild wars in Ashes of Creation is they will be objective based. In other words, you'll be able to set an objective for the winner of a war, like, for example, X amount of kills, holding an area for a certain amount, X amount of, repair costs, or whatever the case may be for it. You'll be able to set that victory condition and then, quote unquote, win that war should you so choose. So that's another way where two, opposing sides can go ahead and attack and kill one another without any repercussions or anything like that, outside of obvious death and things like that. The next system is the caravan system. The caravan system is something that has been heavily touted by Ashes of Creation, and if you've played a game like Arcade, for example, I would put myself in kind of that same mindset. The basic gist is you may, purchase a whole bunch of materials at one specific node and want to deliver it, and based on how far you deliver it to, X amount of nodes, you'll get more money in return. Well, as you're delivering that caravan is open to be attacked, right? And if you participate in that, you will not, experience those same corruption penalties as that I've been referring to. You'll be able to attack and kill one another without impunity. So you can defend the caravan, you can attack the caravan, and go into that. So that's another system where there is consensual PvP. The next is the castle siege system. Placed within Ashes of Creation are 5 different castle nodes that are separate from all other nodes, and guilds can control these castles. Taking part in sieging those castles and taking control of those castles is all covered under that system, and it's consensual. It's considered consensual, so you won't get corruption for participating in those battles and those fights. Next are social wars. We don't know specifically much about this, but one thing that's been alluded to is, for example, if you're part of one religion, a religious organization within the game, and you go up against another religious organization or another guild organization, or like not player, but NPC like guild, like a rogues guild versus, I don't know, another rogues guild or another fighters guild, then you'll be able to fight one another. Now, again, we don't have more specifics on that. Social organization is, the basic gist of it, that you'll be able to participate in unfettered PvP. Arenas will be a thing, right? So 1-on-1, 5-on-5, potentially 20-on-20 or 20-man brouhahas you'll be able to, fight and attack one another without impunity and not be subject to the corruption system. And finally, you've got duels, right? So your standard, I want to duel you, do you accept type scenarios, and you can go ahead and participate in that as well too. All of those situations that we have there, will not be covered by that corruption system. It'll be exempt from that corruption system in that you'll be able to participate in PvP. So for those of you who are thinking that this will be a game that it'll be really hard to, PvP, I don't think that's exactly true. I think what they're trying to go at with this game is they want to make it hard for non-consensual PvP to occur. You can still do it, but there are penalties for quote-unquote doing it, or increasing penalties for doing it repeatedly, if you will. So if someone annoys you once, it might be worth it to take the hit, but if you're consistently doing it, it's probably going to pose some problems for you in the long run overall, right? So just keep that in mind as, things progress. And for more details on the corruption system, again, check out the video that I have below. Now, there are safe zones that are exempt from attacking. Things like player-run stalls, right? So you'll be able to run your stall, your business, or whatever it may be, and you won't be able to be attacked within any of those systems that occur. Same thing with freeholds, right? So if you own a freehold, which is kind of like your own personal housing plot, you will not be able to be killed on it. Now, there are some particular questions that, obviously come up. Will you be able to attack someone, then run back to your freehold? Those things will more than likely be ironed out before we actually come and go live, right? So, yes, so in a nutshell, there is plenty of PvP. I like the system that they presented, and we'll see how it actually goes on and ties together within PvP. Now, overarching in these systems, there will be PvP seasons. In other words, different aspects of PvP will be tallied up. Intrepid keeps track of all of these stats and, awards given out based on who does what, who does well, which guilds do good, which guilds do bad, things like that. And it'll be all tied together. So that is, in a nutshell, is PvP in Ashes of Creation. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free. Leave me a message, send me a note, do whatever you got to do. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Alpha Soul out.